Hi guys and welcome back. In this video I wanted to tell you about set and dictionary comprehensions. In the last video we had a look at this code where we have our friends list and our guests list. And in order to compare them both, we tried to turn them both into lowercase and then pass them through sets so that we could then print the intersection. And we did friends lower.intersection guests lower. However, we can just use set comprehensions instead of list comprehensions and then pass it through the set function. Just like we can do list comprehensions by using square brackets and then putting the thing we want to put into the new list for the iterating variable in the iterable, we can just do this. Instead of creating a new list first and then making a set out of it, we can just create a set straight away, and that is going to be faster and also a bit more readable. Let's do the same down here. Now, one of the problems we had in the last video with doing something like this is we weren't able to output the names in capitalized format. So we always had the lowercase names at the end because that's what we used to sort of compare them. But actually we can create a final set comprehension that does this for us. So what I've got here is a third set comprehension that puts the name turned into title case for the name in the intersection. Of course, it is easier if you take this out and put it into another variable, just like that. If we run this, you'll see that the output is now what we wanted. Though it is a little bit longer, it does have the extra benefit of removing any duplicate friends if there were any. So if somebody was in this list twice, for example, for some reason, either due to an error or maybe they RSVP'd twice or something like that, then this would get rid of that. However, it could also have the problem of removing duplicate elements. So if two people have the same name, you could end up with only one of those people showing up in these sets. Either way, I wanted to tell you that you can do set comprehensions, which is the same thing as a list comprehension, but using curly braces instead of square brackets, and you end up with a set at the end of it. Let's say you've got a list of friend names and how long ago since you last saw them, and you want to create a dictionary out of these two. What you can do is you can create something like a variable called long timers, and once again, using curly braces, just as we do with dictionaries, you can do friends I colon times since seen I. And what this does is it accesses the ith element of the friends list. So for example, if I was 0, it would access friends 0, and that's Rolf, and it would associate with that this value here, which is times since seen 0, which would be 3. So you could end up with Rolf 3. Now, if you repeat this for every index, so 0, 1, 2, and 3, you'd end up with a dictionary of the elements which include all of these in these two lists. So you could do for I in range of the length of friends. And what this means is you are creating a new variable called I, and its values will range from 0, which is the start of the range function, up to the length of friends, which is 4. So it would go from 0 to 3 inclusive, and that would give you all of these. If we print this out and run it, you'll see what I mean. You get Rolf and 3, Bob and 7, Jen and 15, Anne and 11. One of the benefits of doing a list comprehension like this one is that if you were only interested in those people that you haven't seen for 5 days or more, you can of course put a conditional in here as we've seen. Something like that. So now you're only running this if the times since seen I, which would be the number that we're currently looking at, is greater than 5. So now you would only get Bob, Jen, and Anne. Running this, you'll see that that is correct. So dictionary comprehension, which is this, works in exactly the same way as set comprehension in that you use the curly braces, but instead of putting a single value into the set comprehension, you put the key colon the value just as we did with dictionaries before. Dictionary comprehension is used much less than other types of comprehension, but sometimes it can be really handy. So I just wanted to show it to you, tell you that it's possible, and maybe you'll encounter it in the future. Thank you for joining me in this video. I hope you've learned something, and I'll see you in the next one.